There he is.
How's everybody doing?
There he is.
Very good. How are you?
Nice to see you. Good to meet you.
Good to meet everybody.
All right, bud. I know we're running a little bit late. We kind of had to rush a lot of stuff. We had technical difficulties in the beginning here, but we're close. About 8 or 9 minutes off.
That's all right.
So why don't you introduce yourself to the community, the Death Drop Army over here?
Well, y'all probably don't know me, but if you're on Twitch, 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, you'll see that I am on the Rocky Mountain Rewind hosting one of the best historical things on Twitch. I'm Bud Bellflower. I think I got my roots pretty deep in Rocky Mountain Pro. I manage the lights and audio. I'm the statistician. I'm a manager there. Got myself a few boys and a girl that are on their way to getting some gold in Rocky Mountain Pro. So it's a lot of fun.
Awesome.
Bit of a Swiss Army knife.
Exactly.
All right, bud. Let's just get right down to the chase here. How'd you get involved in wrestling?
How'd I get involved in wrestling? Well, after I left South Georgia. So where I'm from is a real small town. And I figured the only way out was to go to college and do the whole straightforward, right down the middle path. So I became a teacher because I thought, oh yeah, well, that's the most money I've ever made because it's more than, barbecuing pigs for minimum wage in Georgia. So realized very quickly that was not the way to earn a sustainable living. And I figured a few of my talents that I garnered while in, the boonies would help me in professional wrestling. And I got in contact with Mercury Aiden about a year and a half ago. Just wanted to see what I could do in any way that I could just to get a little bit on his side in the promotion that I felt was the best in Colorado. And I think that it's worked out nicely.
From what I've seen you do a fantastic. I can't even fucking talk. I'm sorry, but I've been rushing the whole entire time. So, you've been doing fantastic work over there, and I've been watching the shows. I've been watching Charged, and I've watched Milestone, and all the other pay-per-views that you guys had, Shocktober, and you're really doing a fantastic job over there.
Appreciate that.
Just to let you know, Bud, we are going to have one other person on here. His name is Triple I. We're going to give you the warning just like we give Mercury Aiden.
His name is the Infinite Indian Inspiration.
All right.
He is not of this
That's
planet.
Dot, not Feather.
Got it.
Yep.
They dropped him off and ran away. Whoever they are, it was somebody, we don't know who it was yet. You'll find out exactly what we mean. He means
like
no
an
harm.
interesting fellow.
Yeah.
Once he starts showing his teeth,
oh,
though,
yes.
you might want to be scared. He means no harm until he starts growling, and then.
All right. Okay.
All right.
Where's this guy from then?
A couple cities, like right around here where we are located in northern Massachusetts, a little city called Haverhill. But
all right.
Yeah. But he's not amongst the rest of humanity.
Gotcha.
Just be prepared.
All right.
All right. We'll start with Sunday. Who do you got for Mr. Bud Bellflower?
So you mentioned you joined in about a year and a half ago as starting to actually be involved in the wrestling business. But like, what kind of got you interested in wrestling before that? As younger, growing up. Obviously, being from Georgia, I'm guessing you were kind of a WCW guy.
Yes, sir. I was born in '93, so my dad and I would watch wrestling pretty much every week. And I remember it was funny because he had a personal vendetta against WWF, and so that's why we watched WCW. And it was a whole lot of fun. We had a lot of fun with it. Bill Goldberg was my favorite growing up because, I mean, he played for Georgia, legitimately one of the best nose tackles we've ever had. And then he goes to wrestle and has a streak of 170 something. Like, my child brain was blown.
173-0.
Yeah, something like that. But it was that was how I got into wrestling. Was I mean, from the very beginning, my dad just watching every week Monday Nitro, and then after the Monday Night Wars fizzled out, it kind of like I grew out of it. But then a couple of years later, got back into it, and then once I moved out to Colorado, realizing how great Rocky Mountain Pro had already scaffolded itself to being, I was like, well, okay. I mean, I'll go be a part of this. It sounds like fun.
Yeah. Cool.
Coastal.
So you're a manager for the Three Ring Circus.
Yes, sir.
Who are some of your? I mean, managers take a certain type of personality, and I can already tell. Just in a few moments I've known you, you have that personality.
Fact.
You certainly have the mustache.
That's right.
And the bow
That's
tie.
epic,
It
by the way. I do like
works.
that.
Yeah, thank you. I got a lot
but-
of bow ties for Christmas. I kind of showed off.
Well, that kind of brings me to who kind of I get a Jim Cornette vibe. So who were some of your influences of being a manager? You come from
Well,
a
maybe
great,
you should
like,
quit
area
answering
of
your own
managers.
questions, because Jim Cornette was. I'm no cultist of Cornette, but I do have a lot of he has a lot of good opinions. So I style myself in a lot of ways by Jim Cornette, but also like a healthy amount of Jimmy Hart, a healthy amount of Miss Elizabeth, and Gato, who is in New Japan right now. I love watching Gato.
Yes, very awesome. I'm a New Japan guy myself. So you were born in 93. How did you get to see Jim Cornette? Because he was only really around a little bit in WWF up until about 97.
That was not when I was a kid. That was
okay.
honestly, if we're going to be honest, whenever I got back into wrestling, those couple of years later, I was like, well, now how I had heard of the notoriety of wrestling was like, oh well, there's this guy Jim Cornette, and obviously that notoriety drew me in, and at first I would call myself a cultist of Cornette, if that's the right terminology. But then after getting into wrestling, working with Rocky Mountain Pro, and realizing, yeah, he's kind of an extreme guy. He has a lot of good opinions and a whole lot of bad ones. I guess seeing everybody in their own different worlds and trying to connect them into my own research, that's how I like to try to do things.
That's awesome. Yeah. I'm good.
Go ahead, Mikey.
No, so you mentioned also that you do like lights and sound. Had you had any experience with that? Had you ever dabbled? Because I did a lot of drama as I was growing up, a lot of plays and such, and every once in a while you had to help out with lights and things, sound mixing and boards and stuff like that. Had you done that before, or was that just a way in?
All. Not at all.
Because that is no joke stuff. Controlling all those things.
I will. Here's what I'll tell you. I walked up essentially on. I wish that this were the real case. This online stuff makes the stories much less cool. But I walked up via email to Mercury Aiden saying, "What can I do? I want to do anything." He was like, well, I'll just, here's this guy, Stevie. Over Easy Stevie, as he is affectionately known in Rocky Mountain Pro. But whenever I got there, I was like, all right, so I want to help out. I want to do whatever I can, because eventually I want to manage some people because I think I got the right skills. Blah, 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 blah. Stevie was like, okay, well, man, we can, I guess I can get you on the lights. I said, cool. How do I do that? And it took like 15 minutes of him showing me like how to work the lights he did. And then another time it took like 30 minutes of him showing me how that particular program worked. But, I learned how to do that and put them up and tear them down. And that was just my job. And it took a lot off of Stevie, the production manager at the time, to it would take like 2-3 hours off of his load. And so it was great. And we had a nice mutual relationship, and I learned how to do lights. Eventually I started to do all the audio and stuff because I wanted to learn more of how to keep the show going. I wanted to learn because what I always hated was if something were to go wrong, and then no one in the surrounding area knows what to do. That's a nice stress-inducing moment. I don't know how we got to this.
Wicked.